Hello, my name is Courtney Stoddart, and I just want to first of all just thank you all so much for showing up to StoryCon 2022. It looks so exciting. All the workshops and activities that you guys have got lined up just look totally inspiring, and yeah, I hope you all are able to take something from it and be able to use it to enhance your craft in whatever way you feel is most beneficial for you. So I'll just start by introducing myself. My name is Courtney Stoddart, and I'm a poet, I suppose you could call me that. I write poetry sometimes. And I'll just start by just telling you a little bit about my career, a little bit about how and why I started writing poetry and performing. And then I'll go on to maybe give you guys a couple of I don't want to say like hints and tips, but that's the only words that are coming to my mind right now. But maybe just something that you can potentially learn something from, or potentially not, I don't know, but I'll tell you anyway. So I started performing in 2019, and I had been writing a lot longer than that. I had been writing probably since I was about 18 or 19, so around 10 years ago now. And I started writing because I was really struggling at that time, emotionally, mentally, you name it, I was struggling. And poetry was really just this catharsis for me. I just picked up a pen one day and I just started writing, and I was sort of like, is this poetry? I don't know. And I started sharing it with people, and people were like, that's poetry, that's, but for me it was really just a way to express myself, a way to let out all the things that I was feeling, and really just be able to understand and process things that were going on in my life at that time. So fast forward to 2019, and I've still been writing a lot. I'd been researching as well and trying to understand more about the sort of Black experience, not only in Scotland, but globally. And so I used to write, read or watch documentaries and things. And then I would write poems about what I had watched, just as a way to process, as a way to understand. And my friend asked me to perform at her gig. She's a musician. And I was like, all right, like, why not kind of thing. Like, I felt like I would be holding myself back if I didn't do that. So that was pretty much it from there. I did that one performance and it sort of snowballed for me. I didn't do the kind of typical open mics kind of thing. Pretty much from my first gig, I then got another gig, and then I got another gig, and pretty much started being able to earn money from performances almost from the get-go, which was had its pros and its cons, I suppose, as well. I felt like I was kind of thrown in at the deep end, but I very much learned a lot from those experiences. And I think what poetry really means to me is it is a way to express your deepest thoughts and feelings. And I think it's so beautiful because you don't necessarily have to share that with other people, but it's a way to almost reflect your own experiences back at yourself and be able to really understand them and look at them from other angles and other perspectives. And that really says to me that everybody is a writer, everybody is completely unique, and that is really the essence of what we are, is our uniqueness. And I think that if we can find a way to capture that, that's what is I think most captivating for other people, when you're able to show them, look, this is me, this is who I am, like that then they're able to witness that. And I think authenticity is really the most powerful thing that we have. It's the most powerful tool, to just be yourself. So that would be probably my first tip, is just to write from your heart, write authentically, even if it is that you write short stories or you write, possibly, novels, whatever it is that you choose to write. I think to do it authentically, to do it from your heart, is really the most powerful thing that you can do. And I think if you look at all kind of successful writers, performers, it's like, you know, people say, oh, they have that thing about them, and that thing is authenticity, is that they have in some way, shape or form mastered the art of being themselves. And I think that that is the most beautiful gift that you can ever give to the world, is just to truly be yourself. And so the second tip that I would really have is keep a note of everything that every little spark of creation that you birth. Write it down, even if it's just a couple of words. Write it down, because, you know, I've had things that I've taken a note in my phone of, you know, and then a year later I've looked back at it and been like, oh my God, that's going to be a poem. You know, it's really a way of you know, keeping that sort of record. You know, and those little moments, you know, you can really build on them in the future as well. So that would be my sort of second tip. And thirdly, I would say, don't force it. Like, I feel like writer's block in some sense is a bit of a lie. Like, people say, oh, you know, writer's block. But I think that sometimes we're just not meant to be creating in that time. I think, yes, of course, there are people that write every day, and if that's you, amazing, do that. But I think not to put pressure on ourselves, because if there's one thing that stumps creativity, it's pressure and it's force. And, you know, sometimes when someone asks you to write something, sometimes you're like, oh my God, I don't even know what to write. You know, whereas if you just let things like flow naturally and just you know, there's been times where I haven't written something for months, and that's because I've been, you know, in a process of like, you know, integrating new experiences, or I've been just going out into the world and just exploring, and then I'll come back maybe a few months later and be like, oh, I think I'm going to write about this, or, you know, it'll just come out naturally. And I think when you try and force things, that's when it becomes jarring, and that's when your work doesn't really hit like a resonance with other people, is when you force it, you know. Yeah, and so the last thing that I would say is, don't take criticism to heart. Do not take it to heart. You know, some people are going to like what you do, and some people, it's just not going to resonate with them at all, and that's okay. That's the beauty of being a human, of being, you know, us all being so massively unique and different, is that some people's stuff you're going to absolutely love it, and some people's stuff you are not gonna like it whatsoever, and that's gonna be the same with the work that you produce as well, and that's absolutely fine. It's not a reflection of you and your work. And yeah, so those are my hints and tips. I hope that you can take something from that, and yeah, have an amazing StoryCon 2022.